chop it up for a little bit. Let's discuss last night's 2025 WNBA draft. Wanted to talk about it yesterday. Couldn't really find the time. Wanted to put out a video or something, but plus I was tired. But I enjoyed the draft. I'm not gonna get into comparing it to last year. I'm not gonna do that. But overall, the event was it was a very enjoyable event to to, uh, to watch. As for me, as it mostly always is. You know, obviously you could you could possibly say that some of the star power wasn't there as it was in previous years like last year. But ultimately, I just enjoy watching these lady women athletes' dreams come true, and I think that there's a good chance here for some of these players to hit now. In terms of who's going to become a star, obviously you got Paige Beckers. I mean, that's your no brainer. A truly worthy number one selection to be as she was, and I think that you have a lot of quality players in this draft. I think you can't compare every draft to each year. Each year you can't compare drafts. I think maybe down the line you could take a look at it, but I just don't think you could go if you're trying to measure each draft is going to be hard to do so because there's always going to be, greater players, greater um, individual games in each draft. Like there's going to be, superstar talents galore. Like last year, look at how many players that were, um, let's say, well received, with superstar written all over them, whether they're going to become that this year or in the future. Like Rakia Jackson, her arrow is going up. We already knew the potential there. You saw Caitlin Clark, you saw Angel Reese, Camila Cardoso. It's going to be healthy. So, her arrow's going to be going up. So you're just going to see, tons and tons of potential from the 24 draft continue to make its mark. Um, and that's just how it goes. So I expect nothing but great quality from this draft too. It might take what's going on, Jess? It might take some time, for certain players. I think Paige is gonna get it right away. I think she's gonna get established, as soon as possible. Yes, you could say that it's tough that the players got to turn around, get drafted, and then head right back out there and get ready for training camp, in a matter of weeks, getting ready for the season to kick off next month in May. So it's not easy, but if you want this, you got to go after it and get it. You look at it, Sonia Citron, she's ready for this. She's ready for the league. She's seasoned, versatile wing. When you look around at players in this draft, it might take some time, as with every draft, and others might catch on right away. But I do think that the biggest problem is that a lot of these players get waived, so some of these players might not get a fair shake, and that's just how it goes. But if you look at a Maddie Segrist, she's one of the best examples I can use. A top three pick that was sitting on Dallas bench, and she just grinded until her time came. Like when her time came, she didn't waste time getting busy. When you get your shot, you got to take your shot. And being behind Satu Sabali could depress a lot of players, but she just waited for her opportunity, and when it came, she made sure she maximized all her potential. And that's what you got to do. Like if you get a chance to be on the bench as a player, you gotta be working hard, and when your opportunity does show up, you gotta make the most of it. If you get is so lucky as to be able to sit behind such a valuable commodity and player like Satu Sabali, You have to learn. You got to put the work out. I mean, you got workout, yeah, but you got to put the work in and practice, and just be prepared for your opportunity. And if you don't hook on with one team, you know, that's not the end of the world. So if you even if you didn't get drafted, I mean, look at Jalen Sherrod, WNBA champion. She was undrafted. She posted uh, a tweet or something. She posted a picture of her with the trophy, just letting young players know, like, okay, if you don't get drafted, it's not the end of the world. So you just got to be willing to stay locked in. If you really want to play in the you have to continue to believe that you will. So let's look at this draft. Let's talk about it. Let's recap it. In my own kind of way or whatnot. Let's see here. So obviously we know Paige went number one. Can't go wrong there. Some of the suspense was taken out when the Storm took Dominique Malonga, who, as far as I remember, she was being looked at as being 5 or 6, right, in the middle of the draft, the lottery. But however, players backed out. I mean, Flaugier backed out, Olivia Miles backed out, Lauren Betts backed out so she can play with her sister. A lot of players decided, okay, I'm gonna return to college, and with that, perhaps the premium upside of Malonga shot Seattle right up. I mean, shot Seattle. Shot Malonga up the draft boards because of how much potential there is in her. Being 19, being a double machine, being somebody that can operate on the post. I just feel like they got themselves a player now. It might take them some time to bring Malonga along, but I do think that you just couldn't pass her up with the number 2 selection. So you look at Washington, they take Sonia Citron. Should she have gone as high as 3? I think just in terms of dependability, just in terms of accountability from a guard slash a forward, just being able to play multiple positions, being a positional defender, just being able to create, being able to in a pinch bring up the ball, can defend the perimeter, a clutch shooter. I think that you really couldn't go wrong here. Some might say 3 might be a little bit too high, but you read the room. You look and see the draft board, and I don't think you can go wrong there. Then Washington, they picked again. They had Kiki Erefin. Hey, solid selection, stellar selection. Don't nothing about Kiki to me screams superstar. However, there's some upside to her game. She can knock down the jump shot. She does have a lot of defensive versatility to her. Sometimes I say focus with Kiki is what it is for me, because I just think that she could be a more consistent scorer. But let's read this continue to just shoot through this this recap here so I can get into winners and losers. So let's talk about Josie. Yeah, that pick for me for Golden State was a little bit head scratching, because I thought that Golden State, the Valkyries, not the Warriors. I thought the Golden State could have went Anissa Morrow, or they could have went with Georgia Amore, just because I think they could have got instant offense from one in Amore, and I think with Anissa Morrow, they could have got so much heart and hustle in terms of grit, in terms of her rebounding abilities. And both of these players would have helped put Golden State on the map. And with the foreign players, depending on who it is, I don't know much about them until they kind of make their mark. Like with a Phoebich, like with a Marine Johannes. Don't really know much about them until they actually make their mark. So I don't know much about Josite. I don't know how to say that, but Josite, from a guard from Lithuania. I guess we'll just have to see how it goes. I mean, because I don't know too much about the foreigner players when they first get drafted. And then number 6, Georgia A. Moore, electric dynamo, a guard that's just going to cook and knows how to create shots for herself. It's really going to help her being 5'6", being able to create her shot. That's what's going to separate her and put her apart. The Mystics got a great one there. We don't have to spend too much time talking about the Washington Mystics getting a really great pick up there. Golden State's passing up a moral. I can't wrap my brain around it. Goosey Gang said the only player I know from Lithuania is Porzingis. Is he? I didn't even know that's where he was from. Shout out to the Porzingis and the Boston Celtics who are gonna try to defend their championship this NBA playoffs, which is coming up. Playing game start tonight. Okay, number 7, Anissa Morrow to the Connecticut Sun. Connecticut Sun instantly found themselves in a rebuild. Again, we don't want to spend too much time kind of talking about this because we could do this some other time. I really want to talk about, winners and losers. So I'm just trying to run through this real quick. But Anissa Morrow, a rebounding beast, undersized, but you can't question her heart. She definitely needs to work on her outside game. But Connecticut is big time rebuild. Although they do have a few good veterans on this team and a great one in Tina Charles. Connecticut making back-to-back picks. So 7 and 8. I feel like Connecticut can't go wrong here. She's going to add a lot of toughness to this team. Good work ethic. Promise, and that's what you want when you lose all your starters like Connecticut did. Speaking of promise, and a player I wasn't very high on, but now I watched it throughout the March Madness tournament, and I saw just the backcourt versatility, a player that can play either guard. Now, Sanaya Rivers goes to Connecticut at number 8. I don't think Sanaya Rivers is the best shooter by any means, but I think defensively, I think that you have to be concerned about her ability to get out in the open court and take off. She's a good defender, so she's a good passer as well. So I think that the upside of Sanaya Rivers is very much worth Connecticut Sun investing in her and selecting her at number 8. And won't pressure her. They will give her time to grow into her role. Connecticut with guards like J.C. Sheldon, they have some opportunity to do some things. This team has an opportunity to kind of surprise some people, or they could just fall off the map. We don't know, but I think that Tina Charles needs some more hard workers like that, and especially with Charles being one of the best players to ever play the game. I think they'll be respectable in some sense. I think they'll be respectable. They got a good mix of youth and veterans, kind of what you want to have. Goosey Games, you said Rivers' shooting percentage will change. She's given better opportunities to make better shots, less contested shots. Yeah, I agree with that. I just think it's gonna take some time, but you could clearly see the world class versatility in this kid. Good rebounding guard, again, good passer. Think outside of shooting, she does everything else pretty well. Number 9, the Los Angeles Sparks took Sarah Ashley Barker. Now, I didn't know who Sarah Ashley Barker was until because I didn't watch a lot of Alabama, but when she hit for that 45 points, I'm like, yo, who is this? She scored 45 points in a loss to Maryland, and I'm like, this kid could ball. Like I didn't. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I had absolutely I don't know if I can't think off the top of my head. Maybe Abby Myers, who played at Maryland. Didn't she play at Maryland? But I think outside of maybe, and then Abby Myers is probably not a good example because she didn't have. I don't think she ever made a roster. Yes, she was drafted, but I'm trying to think. Like, is there anybody else that has ever raised their stock higher with just one game? Like, let's also say this though. Sarah Ashley Barker is not good for just one game. She's absolutely amazing player. I mean, 18 points a game, It's her average, so it's not like she just somebody who was averaging 5 points and said I'm about to have a 45-point game. So I mean, it was in her, but to go to the level of 45 was crazy. Unfortunately, it was in a loss. I was pulling for her because she was literally trying to do everything to keep that team alive. What's it? Oh, also, yeah, she's a good 3 point shooter. She can defend well. She can operate with or without the ball. She's just a really good player. She'll complement the Sparks who are trying to do something special on the fly with vets like Hamby and Plum who won championships, putting them around young talent like Rakia Jackson, Cam Brink, Ray Burrell. The Sparks are on the upswing. They're gonna be right back in it. And I just wonder if Ashley Barker is gonna get enough playing time. But if they can crack her into the rotation, she just adds another offensive weapon and somebody else that's capable on defense. Can you send me money? Yeah, I mean, man, come on now. Can you send me money, Griffith? Why you asking me? I can't say this name. At number 10, Chicago Sky took Adsa Sivka. At least I said her last name. Um, Sivka is from Slovenia. She's the third European player off the board in the first round. I think she's only 19. I don't think she'll be over to play with the Sky when they start. The Sky is an interesting team with or without adding picks. But when I look at this, this is possibly at 6'4" and being able to shoot the long range ball. This is possibly a selection with an eye on the future. I feel like so. I don't know much about the foreign players, so would have to see her play, or I'm gonna have to watch some footage. Which that's something that I could do. Check out check out some footage on these players. Chicago went back to back. This time they drafted Haley Van Lith um, out of TCU. And we know one thing about Haley Van Lith, which this for me is why I was really excited because this kid had a hell of a resurgence this season. She's going to be reunited with Angel Reese. I think the fire in her belly burns and shines bright. And Haley Van Lith just wants to win. Her game, how does it adapt? It remains to be seen to the professional level, but she's better at the pick and roll. And you're going to have her learning from one of the best veterans out there in Courtney Vandersloot. But I just think that there's so many guards on this roster. There's so many players that I don't know if she's going to be able to crack this starting lineup right away. You know, and so why would you draft her in the first round? Why would you take HBL when you could have took Isaiah James, who's an offensive juggernaut and could fill it up quick? Again, I like this pick. I'm an HBL fan. I want to see her succeed, but don't get it misconstrued. I am a Fever fan, so I'm not a Sky fan, but I do want to see Haley Van Lith and Angel Reese succeed. And Camilla and all of them, as long as they're not playing the Fever, I wish them nothing but the best. But if it was me, if I was like in control, I wouldn't have took Haley Van Lith. I think that she could have benefited playing somewhere else because I just think this ain't nothing against HVL. I just think it was better quality picks on the board. Just in terms of what you can get. Like if they would have took Serena Sundell, who we'll talk about that when we get to that, but if they would have took even Isaiah James, I think they would have found something more. Even if they would have took Aaliyah Nah, who we're gonna get to these players here in a bit, I do think they would have gotten a little bit more consistency right away because I think that maybe I could be wrong, but I don't think HVL is gonna come in and cook right away. I think it's gonna be an adjustment. That's not to say she won't be great because I think she will be great. And congratulations to her for getting picked. Let's go. Number 12, Dallas, Isaiah James. We're going to speed this up a little bit. Isaiah James getting picked. knockdown shooter if she gets it going. Sometimes she can be erratic from outside. I think Zaya's. I feel like she should make this roster. She's gonna have maybe a hard time trying to make it. Um, she's a microwave scorer. It can go either way. Like in terms of her making it, was a good selection for them. I'm not gonna lie. So now that was the end of the first round because the Aces had to forfeit that pick. But the Aces do start round two off, getting the first pick of round two. And the first pick is Aaliyah Nye. Um, Let me say this. If you guys enjoyed the draft, let me know if you did. And also, what was your favorite moments of last night's WNBA draft? So number 13, Aaliyah Nye. Again, I didn't watch much Alabama. Much to, I guess, it's unfortunate for me because I didn't watch much Alabama. But Aaliyah Nye has been said to be able to shoot the living hell out the rock. And if that's true, welcome. We could use you here. Absolutely, we could use your marksmanship, 3-point shooting capabilities, elite shooter, 45%. I saw that. 45% field goal percentage, 46% 3-point percentage. If she can keep that up at this level, Aaliyah Nye is definitely a great look. So we move to 14. Madison Scott, I think she went too high. I'm just gonna be honest. I think Madison Scott went too high, but they saw 6'2" wing capabilities. They probably saw her defense. I'm not saying she's a bad player, but I mean, and maybe Dallas was like, okay, let's go for some defense in the guard wing forward. And I don't know if she's gonna make this team because I'm not too crazy about her offensive side of the ball. But I guess that hey, Dallas said like I just said, they want defensive win a guard. So Minnesota Lynx took Anastasia Olari Kosu out of Russia. Guys, I don't know anything about her. I guess I would have to give that like an incomplete grade. Again, what I think I'll do is look at these foreign players, watch some tape on them, and just kind of get a feel for them because I don't know anything about them. Number 16, uh, the Chicago Sky took Maddie Westbell. Another interesting selection because we all kind of said that Maddie didn't look like herself. But if Maddie is healthy, if Madison, if that's probably her real name, it gotta be. But anyway, going by her nickname, Maddie Westbell, if she's healthy, if she's focused, she could be somebody that can make this roster. Now, is she not as agile, mobile, kind of slow? Yeah, is her speed? Is she gonna be able to keep up? With professional players, we kind of have to see. It depends. Is she gonna dictate how she plays on offense and defense, or are players gonna try to speed her up, or is she gonna be efficient and effective, kind of how she is, and how much the health hold her back in this final season with Notre Dame? I think these are questions we have to ask. I think training camp is going to be huge for all the players, but definitely for Maddie Westbell because Chicago is loaded with competitive players. I don't know if this is a team that could go out and win a championship, but if Camilla is healthy, which she's going to be, I have no issues here with Maddie Westbell. A lot of people are down in this Maddie Westbell selection, but I think it has a potential to pay off, or she could get cut. And that's just kind of the reality for a lot of these players. What's going on, Michelle? Number 17, Cheyenne Sellers. She slid all the way down. Again, I'm going to try to speed this up because I want to get to winners and losers here. But Cheyenne Sellers could have been the knee, right? She falls down. Golden State gets a steal here. They kind of rectify, which was a crazy decision for me in the first round, for them anyway, to draft the foreign player, Joseph Jusay, that they did. Not saying she gonna be bad, but I think that they kind of hit on it here with Cheyenne Sellers with her versatility, defensively and offensively. I don't have a problem at all with this. I just hope the kid is healthy. But you to get a quality player like Cheyenne Sellers in the second round, I don't see a problem with that. What's going on, Jay? Um, I don't see why you gonna keep repeating yourself. You ain't got to keep doing that. Stop repeating yourself. I have to get you up out of here. But yeah, Timberwolves though all day. Tahina Pau finally got her name called going to Atlanta. Um, has the potential right here to be a really, really great pickup for a dream team that definitely needs guard depth. Um, I like Haley Jones. I like Jordan Canada, but Pau is going to bring that long distance shooting. Looking forward to seeing how it goes. Definitely think she's capable of making this team and probably is going to make this team because, again, this team needs guard help. So I know Tahina Pau was rumored to be a not a number one, first round selection, but sometimes, it's about fit. So if you on the board and you don't necessarily go in the first round when you might have felt that you either should have or you was rumored to possibly be going number one, sometimes you dodge a bullet and you might find a better fit. So number 19, Michaela Thompson, um, floor runner, rim runner, a big that I think that Indiana definitely could have used, and they got one. Will she make this roster? I think she has a great chance of doing so. I think that it's going to be like three or four players fighting for one spot. It's wild, y'all. It's wild. Yeah, so it's all about fit. And then Bree Hall. And this by itself, Bree Hall was the 20th pick. This is why I have to do a video on this one separately because I think Bree Hall, like everybody video I'm watching. What's going on, Joy? Salute to you. Um, Everybody's videos that I'm watching say that Michaela Thompson is going to beat out Bree Hall. Like I might be the only person that thinks that the Fever already got enough forwards. And Bree Hall, if she come with her defense, why couldn't she be a player off the bench? Like I understand what the Fever are doing, like they going all out for this chip, getting veterans. But you need some youth. Like, look at the Aces. Like the Aces finally starting to get it. Like, we need some youth. Like, yeah, they did lose Kate Martin, but they just got Aaliyah now. And we'll talk about Harmony Turner when they get to it. Hopefully, Kitley comes back healthy. But yeah, I think Bree Hall, I think she got an outside chance. It just depends on who's going to work harder in training camp, who's going to be more focused and more driven, because I think Hall has an opportunity here. Her defense should get her in the door in her clutch three-point shooting. The Fever definitely, I'm always like, let's keep an eye on the future. Like, I get it. They went all in. But definitely need to keep an eye on the future so you don't want to empty your whole roster out with the youth. Like, I get it. Yeah. Caitlin and Leah Boston, young, ain't even in their prime yet. But I just thought it was important to stress that, getting some youth that can play defense, that can shoot the rock, it's important because Sydney Colson is okay. She's a championship experience she provides, but I would prefer to get at least one young player in the mix somehow. But then again, some might say, well, Bree Hall would just be sitting and sitting. We don't know that. We don't know that. You say, what do I think happened with Haley Jones? I think our previous coach misused her. She should play wing. You think so? I think she was coming along more so last season. I don't watch a lot of Dream games. Maybe I will now because they building a nice little team up over there. I never really watched a lot of them, but when I seen them play, Haley Jones looked a lot more comfortable last year than I feel the year previous. I feel like she looked a lot better because there's times where she seemed like she was overwhelmed. Could she play wing? I don't know. Like, how tall is Haley? I'm gonna have to like look into it. I think this will make a break year for her, and I compare her to Kiki Rice a lot. So I think, I mean, I compare Kiki Rice to her. RC people don't realize these vets on these teams are 1 year rentals, new CBA, so all these teams gonna look different. You need some youth. Yeah, definitely. Definitely need some youth on your team. Absolutely. Like, you got to keep an eye to the future. It's so important to keep an eye to the future. Haley Jones is 6'1". Yeah, good size for a guard. I think she's starting to get it. Um, I don't know if she could play too because her shot is not like all the way there, but she's a good driver. She's more confident now than I felt she ever was to begin with. But I feel like it's a make or break season. She's lucky that she went where she did, and that they giving her opportunity. Like Joyce said, it's all about fit. Some teams are gonna give you an opportunity to to do trial and error. You go to another team, they're not going to give you an opportunity. Like, if your defensive game is premium, extraordinary, you a defensive demon, but your offensive game is kind of shaky. Some teams ain't going to allow you to grow into that. Connecticut is going to allow what's her name? I don't want to have to scroll back up. I might just have to. I'm drawing a blank here. Sanaya Rivers. Sanaya Rivers is going to get the opportunity to grow into um, being a complete two-way player. Uh, Minnesota, Cheryl Reed, they wasn't finna allow I'm gonna say Bree Hall, Bree Bill to grow into that. And it's unfortunate because even because last year Bree Bill went to the Aces, and the competition is tough. It was tough for her to make that team. I felt like Bree should have had a chance to make it, if not with the Aces somewhere. But I guess that just brings me around to a whole nother different topic, talking about Bree Bill. But it does just go to show, like, some coaches are gonna allow you to evolve, and some coaches are gonna be like, yeah, you're gonna have to do that somewhere else because we trying to win over here, honey. Then 21, the Sparks selected Sanaya Fagan. Sanaya Fagan, um, underrated passer, super solid rebounder, um, plays wiser than her years. Just an incredible pickup for the Sparks. Gives them some front court depth on the bench. She's gonna come in and be about her business. Defense, offensively capable of scoring. I think this is just a great pickup for the Sparks. Like, honestly, I don't see. Let me say this: a lot of teams like Dallas in this that second pick they had, instead of going what the hell they go with, instead of going to Zaya James, they could have went with Fagan. Like, they need some backup front court depth. Who else? Um, the Sky could have went with Fagan, over Maddie Westbell. That's nothing against Maddie Westbell, but Maddie Westbell, I liked her game in college. She's gonna have it hard to make the pros, and it can go either way. It could be where she makes it, or she's gonna get escorted out and waived. So, Aisha Koulibaly. The only thing I know about her is that last name rings a bell, and I think it's because her brother plays for the Washington Wizards. Because I have not watched Texas A&M. If I ain't watched the team, I'm gonna tell you I ain't watched the team. Just like with, I only seen maybe 2 Alabama games, and I don't recall Aaliyah now. So that probably means I was watching those games and I wasn't paying as much attention as I should have. But Sarah Ashley Barker caught my eye in the tournament. And in fact, I don't think I seen Alabama until the tournament. But yeah, Koulibaly, the Sky selected her. Y'all know how they general manager get down. Facts, RC. Cheryl ain't no joke. That's why I felt some kind of way when Peely was selected last year. She ain't gonna play. You love Peely. Peely is awesome. I don't think that Cheryl Reeve likes rookies at all. I'll just be honest with y'all. I don't think she like rookies like that. You know, I mean, she was playing Diamond Miller, but Diamond Miller stays hurt. I wish they'd give Peely more minutes, but Cheryl is tough. Yeah, she is incredibly tough on these youngsters. Like, who did they take? Who did Minnesota took? Anastasia Olari Kosu from Russia. She probably gonna be a stash player. They probably gonna stash her. They didn't have no second round picks. I'm looking real quick to see who. And then Minnesota took Delia Daniels. Not too familiar with her. I feel like I heard that name in passing. And she ain't gonna make the roster. I'd be shocked. You know, I'd be an elephant's uncle if she make the roster. I can't see her making that roster. And maybe it's an outside chance, but and then Washington took my old girl Lucy Olsen from Iowa. No UCLA players were selected, but I mean, why would they be? Nobody was good enough to make the roster from UCLA, and most of the team transferred. So, but Iowa, we got Lucy Olsen up in there, and Lucy Olsen is gonna be in for the fight of her life. I can't mince words. When you have Zay Green, uh, Georgia Amore, Sonia Citron, we know Sonia Citron ain't going nowhere. That ain't gonna happen. Kiki Iria Fan, even though she played a different position than Lucy, Lucy in for it. Do I think she can make this team? Gonna be a dogfight. Lucy is very playful. Lucy's gonna have to come in. She gonna have to be locked in. Lucy. She going to have to because I think Area Fan is in the door. I'll read your comment in 1 second, Michelle. Um, Area Fan is in the door. She good. Georgia Amore is in the door. She good. Some people say Georgia Amore might not make the team. They lying. Georgia Amore can create her own shot. It makes the difference when you 5'6". It makes tons of difference. She can cook. She can dribble with that ball. She can get globe trotterish with that basketball. So she's in the door. Um, who else? Who else they get? So Citron in the door, Amore in the door. This is a young team, so they all should be on this roster. There's no reason. Area Fenner's in the door, even though you got Aaliyah Edwards and Shakira Austin, who obviously Shakira still young, but she's kind of like a young vet now. She just needs to get healthy. So if you're gonna keep 4 rookies on your team, you got to be obviously not really intending to go anywhere. Because I think a team that's championship aspiration oriented, they might have at the most 2 rookies on their roster, and those two rookies are going to be seasoned. We speak about seasoned rookies. I mean, I just think Sarah Strong, because Sarah Strong, she's seasoned as a freshman. Like her game is pro ready, you know. But as we go back to it, Lucy's gonna have a tough time making it because it's gonna be her or Zay Green. Because I don't think both of all the rookies not gonna make this roster. They just not. All the rookies just ain't gonna make it. So am I saying she can't make it? No. But if she go out there and play hard and play focused, there's a great chance she does. And still she should play great no matter what because you never know who's looking. And she might be auditioning for another team. Minnesota Delia Daniels, I don't know much. Oh, you said Sky's quit his team, yeah. And she don't see Westbell making a cut. Mm-mm. Yeah, it's a long shot. Not gonna say it can't. Not gonna say she can't, but definitely. So it's Rhea Marshall. I know Juju was happy to see her girl drafted. Everybody that watches Juju, everybody loves Juju 12. Great channel if you're a USC fan. You know, Rhea Marshall. That tournament game against Connecticut really helped bolster her because her stats dropped this year. But I think that she has shown that defensively she gets after it. Offensively, she can be good around the rim. There's some upside here with Rhea, even though she played all 4 years at USC. The Connecticut Sun got themselves a quality post here. Great late draft round selection. I definitely don't see no problems with it, no qualms with it. Connecticut is a team, I won't say in shambles. No team with Tina Charles is in shambles. Um, Raya was selected at the last pick of the second round. She went to the Connecticut Sun. Again, no team with Tina Charles is in shambles. You got a good mix of youth and veterans over there. So what can happen with Connecticut is they could either win 20 games or so, or this could be a team that only wins like 12 or 13. It's up and down. Nobody knows, I mean, honestly, what's going to happen with this team. But Amor is making the team because of her skill set. She lacks size. She just has to work on defense. What about HBL in the first round to Chicago? Quita was shot. Um, I like HBL. Do I think she fit? Do I think she was the best pick for the Sky? No, I don't think at 11. Um, I'm getting ready to talk about who should have probably been picked um, before her. But even if it's not this player I'm finna talk about, um, I just look at it like, okay, Isaiah James was on the board. You know, you could have took Isaiah James. Obviously, I think that HD was right because um, he said that the Sky was really interested probably in Sanaya Rivers, but Connecticut took Sanaya Rivers, and then they had to pivot. And in the scramble, they started looking at the board like, okay, Haley's there, and they probably just was like, yeah, let's go with her. But I don't think she's gonna play right away because Chicago Sky guard heavy. You know, how's she gonna crack the rotation right away? Now, obviously, a player of her caliber, you're gonna want to see them play because Haley Van Lith got a huge fan base. Um, and I do think that there's a great possibility that she's able to get at least maybe 11 to 12 minutes a night. Her defense is going to come into concern, just like you said with Georgia Amore. And I think she has to get better at shooting just because she's a good shooter, but she can be erratic sometimes. Like she can be very streaky and like this the WNBA. I don't think that it's gonna go over well if Haley's like I think she'll get the bigs involved, but I just don't think that she's gonna be able to shoot like 5 for 17, 4 for 16. She's gonna have to be more efficient with her 3-point shooting. And sometimes Haley's just like, okay, let me see if I'm on. Like when Haley's trying to light up the lamp, put the ball in the bucket, it's like it takes us some time to kind of get into her groove. And because of that, I don't know. I think she's gonna have to work on her shooting efficiency, just because our opportunities are gonna go down. You got a lot of players that are gonna want to rock, so they can get busy. So we're gonna find out if Haley is much more ready to play the point guard position than she did at I'm gonna say TCU, LSU. So third round pick. Let's run through these real quick. Serena Sundell. Boy, was I livid. Did anybody catch the short I did? I talked about how this was a player, not just me. Most of us thought she'd be gone before round 3. So when she wasn't taken in round 1, I'm like, surely somebody's gonna take Serena Sundell in round 2, right? Quita one of the bigger guard at that 11 spot. My only concern for HBL, but the foreign player y'all took, she a guard slash wing. Um, my only concern for HBL is playing the SEC was a struggle. W is time sink. Yeah, it's gonna be tough. So she's either gonna sink or float. That's what it is. She's gonna sink or she's gonna float. And if it was me, I wouldn't try to bring her along fast. Not when you have. Let's see. They got rid of Lindsay Allen. Um, what's her name? Mariah Jefferson. Michaela Onyewerre. But I think she's more like a wing. But she could play guard too. You got a kid nurse. See what I'm saying? You don't have to bring her along quick. Stop spamming the chat, Ben Allen, or I'm gonna get you up out of here. All right, Y'all want to play, so wait a minute. Y'all want to play. I mean, not y'all. Ben wants to play, so let me make sure I'm just getting Ben out of here. Ben want to play games, and I don't have time right now, so he can sit around for 30 minutes. Yeah, so Serena Sundell, um, I think with Serena Sundell, it's going to be one of the biggest steals of this draft, and it feels weird to call Serena a steal. Oh, you see what I'm saying though, Michelle? If you still here, like the fact that you got all these guards on Chicago, you can afford to bring Haley Van Lith along slowly. You really can. Um, you really can't afford to bring her along slowly. So you don't have to rush her along at all. But when I look at this, I think it was a pickup that has a potential to have upside. Haley Van Lith can definitely cook when she's on. But yeah, Serena Sundell at number 26, third round pickup. It feels weird to call her still, but that's what she is. So I'm happy to see that she got drafted because I was worried. And I think that she's too talented to have slipped. But sometimes you slip. It just happens. It just depends. And let me just say this. I ain't worried about you though, Ben. But look, let me just say this about Serena. You're trying to throw me off. I ain't gonna let you. So Serena should have possibly went to the Chicago Sky. I was ticked off because the Aces didn't. I'm like, the Aces, they draft great quality players. How did the Aces let Serena? I don't know how the Aces let Serena go. Like I don't know how they let her get past them. I have absolutely no idea. One day it might make sense, or one day it won't. But I don't take it personal at all. I just feel like because I like Aaliyah now. I really like Aaliyah now. And I know I need to watch more on her, so I'm probably gonna watch Alabama games to get a feel for her. A couple at least one, at least two or three games to really get a feel for now. But the Storm, they took the draft by storm by getting Sundell, and we'll talk more about that at a later date. But they got themselves a player. Sundell and Mule, the future is bright. Dallas took J.J. Quinterly, J.J. Quinterly, physical defender, just gritty, just scrappy at guard, just straps up her boots and plays hard. So I give her an outside chance to make the team. There's not a lot of belief that she could make this team. Like I don't feel like it's the odds on her favor, but she might make it. Los Angeles took Liatu Kane. Liatu Kane, good around the rim, definitely a good rebounder, solid player. I struggle to see her making this roster though. Again, super solid, but I think the sparks are loaded, and I just struggle to see her sticking. Seattle, again, number 29, they take Madison Connor, guard out of TCU. 3-point shooting expert, a marks woman, can knock down that shot. Connor, another player with an outside chance of making the Seattle Storm roster. If Seattle needs shooting, which I need to look at their roster to see how much shooting they would possibly need from outside. I would say this would be a pretty good pickup for them, and they might keep her. Depends on if they need shooting, because she definitely can shoot. Number 30, Valkyries. This was my Kate Martin moment of the night. One player who I heard in a mock draft or two, but I really didn't think Caitlin Chen would go. But here's your quintessential point guard. Here's a player with a lot of heart, championship approved, goes out and plays the game absolutely the right way. And dare I say, she might be unleashed. She came from Princeton to UConn, played her role. When we talk about playing your assignment, knowing your assignment, she knew hers. And when I look at Caitlin Chen, hot take incoming, she's a player that has the potential to be a star. And Golden State gonna play the game of basketball the correct way. They got professionals wiser beyond their years, like Caitlin Chen. Uh, Kate Martin, Timmy Fabenway. This Golden State team, guys, Cheyenne Sellers, they're going to be pretty good. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys they're going to be going to no playoffs or nothing like that, but Golden State's going to surprise some teams. The element of surprise, first year in the league. I saw you say Harmony, and then Aaronette Vonleh. I didn't watch a lot of Baylor, folks. All I know is that she's the sister of former NBA player Noah Vonleh. I know she's a big. I don't know if Dallas is going to keep her. A lot of these second, third round picks are going to be up out of here. 32, Washington, Zay Green. She played with Alabama, who I didn't watch much, but I do know that Zay Green was good because I had a friend that kept telling me about her. But it's going to come down to her or Lucy. Indiana Fever, Yvonne, and Jim out of Gonzaga, she gone. Indiana's loaded. They only got room for one spot. So it's not going to be her. Harmony, at least hearing her name drafted was nice. But we already got so many training camp players. How many we got, Michelle? How many training and Harmony? Don't write her off. Don't write her off. Like I know if Deja Fair could make it, ain't there a chance that Harmony can make it? Like I think if this draft would have ended without Harmony getting selected, I feel like I ain't got much here to pull out, but I feel like I would have still tried to pull out a piece of her. Because I feel like she was one of those players I was like, man, I hope she get drafted. Because I was looking to see if Madison Hayes was going to get drafted as well. And I'm like, it don't look like nobody going to draft Harmony. Because y'all know how they be racing through the third round and in the middle portion of the second round. I was kind of, KB need to get up out of here. Kirsten Bell. I really appreciate everything Sydney Colson did, but I feel like it might have been her time to leave too, and maybe I'm just in the minority. But definitely KB is here and don't need to be. And Kia Stokes, she's got 9 lives like a cat. She just continues to just stay around. I hope Harmony make it. Seattle took Jordan Hodge at number 34. I didn't watch too much Michigan, but I do know that I think she was a really good 3-point shooter. Harmony Turner at 35. One of the best moments of the night. I hope she gets a fair opportunity. Again, if Deja Fair could make this team last year, anything is a possibility. Not knocking Deja Fair. It's just that her height, it's kind of somewhat of a hindrance. And I just think she just didn't get a fair shake. But it's odd that nobody else picked her up either. This is super hard to make this league. I think what it comes down to is it's either Aaliyah Nah. If it's between Aaliyah Nah and Harmony Turner, they're gonna keep Nye because she was a higher pick. But Harmony Turner, if she comes in, what if she come in and ball out of her mind? How can they deny her? Like you gotta start. Michelle and everybody else in the chat listening, you Chelsea is outstanding, but Chelsea ain't gonna be playing forever. So why you won't keep your eye out on the future is insane. And I'm telling you, if the Aces let Harmony Turner walk, they're gonna regret it. They're gonna possibly regret this, And like you were saying, with the new CBA deal coming up, you better start looking with an eye towards the future. You're gonna have a big Elizabeth Kitley, and I think she's gonna be great. And she can't be the only player, youth-wise, that's promising for the future. Now, what I would like to see from that, again, I'm going to have to watch footage on her and then conclusively drop a video saying what I see about her. I thought Harmony was 5'10". Not 6'1". She gave me like Alicia Clark vibes. But I don't know. I don't know enough. I have to watch again. I love Harmony, but she is 5'8". Energy and grit is fire. Yeah, definitely. Atlanta Dream took Taylor Terry from Ohio State. She was impressive when I would watch her against UCLA and Iowa, so I know she got the goods. But I don't know if she gonna make this dream roster. But something about Terry is she can shoot, she can defend. She just does what's ever requested, and so those type of players bowl well. That's the same thing with a Kate Martin. Whatever you need her to do, she gonna do it, and she gonna do it sometimes, most times, without you even asking. So I think there's an outside chance for Terry to make a roster. Aubrey Griffin, that was the one. I don't. That was the one had me scratch my head. Like, did Minnesota, like, did they do someone a solid? Because if I'm Minnesota, there's no way I'm drafting Aubrey Griffin ahead of Madison Hayes. Just my humble estimation and opinion. Like, Aubrey Griffin, I'm not saying she can't defend and she can't play, within the team concept, but I'm just, it's a little bit baffling. Like I said, I'm happy for her because she was there and she got drafted. But what are the chances? I don't know who else was on the draft board. Definitely, I'm in unison with those that say leave Sedona alone. But yeah, just thought it was a little bit of a shot. Correction, she taller than 5'8", but not bigger. Point guard understudy will be Raven Johnson next year. Pick her up with the second round pick, putting it out there now. Yeah, like most people say, when it comes down to Raven Johnson, Michelle, it's either Chicago or Vegas. Like there are no other alternatives. If you ask around, there are no other teams for Raven. Period. It's either Chicago or Las Vegas, and I think that even though Sundell is a scoring guard, I think it shows like you can get quality even in the third round. So Raven's gonna be drafted. Like, some people don't think she's gonna be able to fill a role. Definitely, she's gonna be. If Caitlin Chen, who I like her professional approach to the game, who I'm a fan of, if Caitlin Chen can be selected, let me see when she was selected. And this is one more pick, by the way. When Caitlin Chen was selected number 30 in the third round, there's a great chance Raven could even go in the second round. But just saying, like, Chen's stats don't jump off the board. Yes, she was a better scorer at Princeton, but she knew her assignment. She realized, like, why would Chen be trying to score 15 points a game when you got AZ Fudd, when you got Paige Becker, Sarah Strong? There's no need. Just play your role. 2 additional expansion teams next year. That's going to give a lot of these players a lot more opportunity. 2026 draft class is going to be super, super nice. The final pick was Asia Kane, France. So y'all know I don't know who that is because she's a foreigner. That's the other thing. I got to try to watch some of these foreigners. But the thing about it is, watching footage on them and highlights, sometimes it don't equate. What's going on, Charles? Sometimes it don't equate because look at the Darko Milicic. Sometimes it don't equate at all. It's like the competition. Then sometimes you might bump into a player like Luka Doncic that's been cooking forever. But I mean, that's the thing about it. A foreigner could be a little bit risky. What's up, Charles? What's going on with you, bro? So yeah, that's the conclusion of the draft. Winners and losers. Winners and losers. It's the first winner for me, and it was tough. I can go either way here, and I wouldn't be wrong. Great today in paradise. Who playing today, Charles? I know we got play-in games coming for the NBA. That's how I first found CJ, was when I was looking for somebody to cover the lives who was doing play-by-play on the NBA, so I can never forget that. But yeah, winners. It's tough. This was tough. I really couldn't figure this one. So I just had to go with one. Winning for me, I'm not gonna put like a number by it, but Washington, the Mystics. I think because they had so many picks, there's no way for them to get this wrong. Obviously we could say Kiki area fan didn't dominate like we thought she would. I like Chloe Kitts better than Kiki area fan. So I'm not gonna sit here and tell you guys that Kiki ain't doesn't have the possibility of having a great career. There's a great possibility, but um, the reasons why I say Washington won this draft is because you're getting a star now player in Sonia Citron. You're gonna get someone that she's just gonna contribute all around the court. You know, all around the court, same song. She's gonna contribute like everywhere, and so that's the starter. Georgia Amore is gonna have an opportunity, to get acclimated with Aaliyah Edwards. You already got a building block right there. Uh, so I think that the Mystics did a great job here. I mean, Lucy Olsen and Zay Green, they're gonna fight it out for opportunity to get on this team. You know, it's to be argued if Sonia Citron should have been selected number 3. But I agree with it when you look at the field. You read the room, you read the draft board, and I think that's an outstanding selection. Amore, another outstanding selection. Like you said, Michelle, 5 for 6 skill, can create her own shot. Um, and then, even though I say I like kids better than Kiki Area Finn, which I do, um, Area Finn has a jump shot. She can stretch the floor. She can't stretch out to the 3 that I know of, but she can score inside out. So she's a 2-level scorer. She's a solid rebounder and can play defense. And who knows, maybe her and Aaliyah Edwards, coming off a brilliant unrivaled, they can work well together. So the future is bright, really, really bright for the Washington Mystics. Do they need to do more in terms of the future, adding draft picks? Yeah, they still need to add to this roster. Then they're not where they need to be at yet, but this was a great start. So who else won the draft? You guys know what's coming, right? The perfect storm, Seattle Storm. It's weird because it seems like I'm going in the order of the draft. Trust me, I'm not. But Seattle Storm, they win this because they get themselves a Giant and Malonga. For the women game, being 6'6" means a lot. For the ladies game, it means a lot. Mobile, can get down the court, long strides, agile, can stretch the floor, shot blocker, good in the post. 7'1" wingspan. The potential on this kid is something exceptional. So if she could, soak up the game behind Izzy McLemore, I think that Malonga is going to be a truly, truly special player. Now, that's not it. What this team did, because I don't know if they're going to keep Madison Connor, but if they do, they got an elite 3-point shooter there. But the fact that this team was able to get a first-round pick in round 3, you got to put them in number 2. And some of you could argue number 1. With Serena Sundell at the first pick of the 3rd round, you got to be kidding me. You got to be joking. Like, that's elevation. Like, this team is ready for the future with Nika Mill, Sundell, Malonga. This puts them in a position of which they just have a bright, bright future outlook. And they still competitive. Best thing about it, they still competitive to compete right now. Like, this team can compete right now and for the future. So that's what you want. They was able to re-sign, what's her name? Neka Ogumake. And they still got SDS. Ezzy, this team is Jordan Horston, if she can come back from an ACL injury, healthy, definitely Seattle Storms are players. So, with or without Jewel Lloyd, this team is on an upswing. So yeah, the team never needed Kelsey Plum back. Kelsey Plum did great to get to LA because the Storm didn't need her. So the Storm did a great job and they win at this draft. Oh, Gabby Williams. I can't think of everybody, Michelle. Um, but thanks for having me right there. Gabby Williams, she came back really, really nice. So I think for her to have a full year, I don't know if she played overseas, but for her to be able to have a full year with the team, that's going to help. Uncle JE, what's going on? What about Sellers falling? Yeah, Sellers falling could be perceived as disrespect, but also, I think it was about the knee. Somebody brought up that they said maybe she fell because she got engaged to a girlfriend. I'm like, no, that's just crazy rumors. But possibly the knee could have contributed to the fall. Definitely gonna have a chip on her shoulder. The two players with the biggest chips on their shoulders, in my opinion, is gonna be Cheyenne Sellers because she failed, and Serena Sundell because she failed. Like these two, obviously Cheyenne is probably gonna have to. She's probably gonna have a quicker opportunity to see the floor for Golden State. But I also think that Seattle was gonna find a way to get Sundell some minutes. They didn't get Nika Mule any minutes, and for me that was heartbreaking. Seattle did not want to get Nika Mule no minutes, and I don't know why. But if they do the same thing with Sundell, it would really suck because these are two talented players. And Sundell could play either position, you know, multi-positional defender, can shoot the rock. Like, come on now. Like, Skylar Diggins Smith is getting up there. Give her some relief. Like, whether she wants it or not, like, spell her for like 10, 12, 13 minutes a game. But that's just my opinion. Like, Nika should have played more. But definitely, Cheyenne Sellers going to have that huge chip on her shoulder. Going to have an opportunity in Golden State because Golden State's going to be looking for, because they didn't draft a superstar caliber player at number 5 when they went with Jusei. I think they're going to be trying to figure out, okay, which one of these players or 2 players or 3 players are going to be our scoring nucleus for the future. It bodes well for them because Caitlin Chen has showed at Princeton she can score, averaging to the upwards of like 18 points a game. So if Chen could get back scoring, Kate Martin's going to be a jack of all trades type of player. And so when you look at Golden State, it's going to be like, okay, where's our offense? Where are we going to get it from? Suns surprised me too. They look competitive. It could go either way. See, the Sun, any team with Tina Charles is going to be competitive. But it don't mean they're headed to the playoffs either. Like competing and going to the playoffs is 2 different things. But I think when I look at the Connecticut Sun, without looking at their roster, I like some of what they have there. JC Sheldon, she's going to get a lot of opportunity here that she didn't get with the Mystics. So she's going to have to capitalize on this opportunity. Marina Mabry, there's a great possibility that she either buys in, because if she don't buy in, it's not going to look well for her. So hopefully, if I'm Marina Mabry, I just put my head down and play. So there's a potential for this. I'm going to say it like this, Uncle J.E. There's a potential for this. 44 games now in the WNBA season. There's a potential for the Sun to win 22, 23 games, right? But it's also a potential chance that this team might not win more than 15 games. So if they won 23, where they would put them, I don't know. Like, it's a possibility, but it's also a great chance that they just don't win enough games, but they compete. So, as a Sun fan, that would be tough because they're so used to go. Suns fans are used to going to the playoffs. They're used to going to the playoffs. So who else won this draft? Dallas. For no-brainer reasons. I mean, Paige Beckers, you're getting someone that's gonna Moral. I forgot Moral. Moral is gonna definitely get a. She definitely gonna get a chance to play and might even start. But for obvious reasons, Dallas won this draft. Paige Beckers, life changing player at the point guard position. Gonna inject energy and youth into this team as long as she can stay healthy. Your hot take, because let me see what you talking about, Michelle. Raven next year for this. Remember I answered that. Michelle, when I was talking about like most people say that Raven's going to the sky with the Aces, and she will work well in either situation. She'd be a perfect backup for Chelsea Gray to learn from and to kind of soak up the game and knowledge from, and definitely wouldn't worry about her offensive game. She just has to continue to play her game, and she knows it. Um, if Aubrey Griffin can get drafted, nobody can tell me Raven can't make a team. Like for her intangibles, for her defense, for her rebounding abilities as a guard. Teams don't just look at you because you could score. Um, the rest of the take is if she goes to the sky, what happens to HBL? I didn't see that. I don't know why I didn't see that. But what happens to HBL? I mean, HBL, she might be temporary. You know, we just have to see how it goes. Like it's a tryout for all of these players outside of Paige. I mean, it's really a tryout. I think Paige and Anissa are the most in Malonga. So take those three: Moral, Malonga, and Griffin ain't making a roster. Somebody did her a spade, did her a solid spade. I'd be an elephant's uncle if somehow she made that roster. I don't. You don't think Sellers gonna make the roster? Golden State, it's gonna be tough. Yes, they're expansion team, but players are gonna be fighting over that nonetheless to try to make this roster. They can't keep everybody. I would need to look at the Valkyries roster. I don't want to move off this page I'm on yet, but I would have to look at their roster. Maybe I might see if they got an updated roster. Oh, you mean Sellers is gonna make it? But definitely, I do think you do hit on something regardless because just because you're an expansion team don't mean that you can take everybody. You still can't take everybody, even though you would like to. So she goes to Scott. Yeah, HVL though, Michelle, it's gonna be trial and error for her, and if she needs to be playing well by the middle of this. Like I would cut her some slack, but Haley is going to need to pick it up through the mid portion of the season because Chicago Sky fans, the expectations have risen with Angel Reese being in place. With Angel Reese being there, expectations for the Sky are higher than they ever have been. And with who is that? Oh, Camila Cardoso as well. Like the expectations are extremely high. Like LSU fans, Angel Reese fans, Camilla fans, SC fans will follow to the Sky to be fans, and the expectations again are super super high. So Haley is gonna have to show that she can play on ball, off ball, making entry passes to Reese, which she's capable of doing. I do like the fact that that Reese and HBL get to play together again. I'm super super happy for that. Hopefully it works out better for them this time. And like I said, I don't know if you was here at that time, Michelle, definitely will root for the Sky just in terms of seeing success. I want to see this young team be successful. Got some youth, got some vets. As long as they're not playing the Fever, I definitely see myself rooting for them. If they playing the Aces, I definitely can't root for them, but I hope they knock the rest of the league out and have a great time. And I hope they make the playoffs. Some people was mad at me last year because I said, like straight up, like I said, I want to see all the best players in the playoffs. And I know Reese had the Angel injury and whatnot, but I really wanted to see her in the playoffs. Like you don't duck no smoke. Like you don't like a lot of people say, oh man, it's the Fever in the playoffs. Like when I talk to Fever fans, Hawkeyes fans, they, oh man, I'm so glad that we didn't have to deal with the sky. No, just worry about your own self. And you should want to, as a fan, you should want to see the best players in the playoffs. Like I don't understand how some fans think. You said Rivers is gonna stick. Yeah, Rivers is good. Connecticut. Who your team, Jay? It sound like your team is Connecticut. Rivers is definitely gonna make the roster. And getting out Coach Tyler gonna be big expectations. And without getting you saying that Tyler gonna be I think he's gonna have to win now because you see this team don't like to give players times. Oh, you're a Sky fan? Like Teresa Weatherspoon, I do feel she got a raw deal. But I also heard things about Teresa Weatherspoon that I ain't gonna speak on her. But I just heard things like that could have been a little bit uncomfortable for some, as well as the fact that they said that she was trying to, you know, help Angel stat pad, which I don't believe that. Um, I just wish that they owner, that Jeff. I just wish he would pick a direction or whatever. Like figure out if you want young stars, which you have them, and Angel Reese, Camilla, it's yet to be seen about Haley. Get some veterans in here and decide which direction you want to go. Like don't be afraid to go all in. If you could choose Angel Reese, who a lot of people was like, oh, I can't rock with her, and but a lot of people rock with Angel Reese. Angel Reese will not be outworked on the basketball court. She's extremely great for what she can do. So people want to talk about what she can't do, but they don't want to talk about what she can do. But the problem is, and y'all know I'm a Caitlyn fan. The problem is this: people don't want to talk about what Caitlyn can't do. They only now we getting off on a whole nother subject, but let me just conclude this with this. People want to talk about what Caitlyn can't do. I mean, people want to talk about what she can do, but they don't want to talk about what Caitlyn can't do. But when it comes down to Angel Reese, it's like, hold on, let's talk about what she can't do. Let's talk about how many times it takes her to get the ball in the bucket. Let's talk about how she can't shoot from outside. And it's just crazy to me because it's like it's a double standard. Like, no, most Caitlyn fans, I ain't gonna say most, I'm gonna say a good chunk. They won't sit here and look you in your eye and say, you know what, Caitlyn, she needs to clean up her turnovers. It's almost like it's impossible for them to accept that. When in reality, this is the best team Caitlin Clark has ever played with. She got to clean up the turnovers. She got to play defense. Look at your own favorite player and be able to say about them to what you easily would say about another. Getting Coach Tyler there will be expectation in 2 years. And I could see that. I mean, this year, playoffs. They don't have to go far in the playoffs, but they definitely need to be in position to qualify for the playoffs. What was that? Somebody put something about some star bench cut to Rossi, Inescu, or Clark. Star bench cut. Well, I'm not a Tarasi fan, so for me, star bench cut. Man, that's crazy. But I mean, it's just my opinion. And if it was me, most people gonna say I'm crazy as hell for this. I'm not the biggest Tarasi fan. Like, salute to her. Number one leading scorer. All that is great and fantastic. She was amazing for what she did, her longevity in the game. But just me being who I am, I know this ain't the right choice by a long shot. Like, unbiased me would probably say, You got to start Tarasi. Damn, it's hard. You got to cut Ionescu and Vince Clark maybe. But bias me, I'm gonna say um, cut Tarazi, Star Clark, and bench Ionescu. But nobody's probably gonna agree with that for the most part. I mean, but those start bench cuts, they crazy and they can always go either way. But yeah, losers in his draft. Losers in his draft. I would probably say the Phoenix Mercury. I mean, they didn't have a pick. They don't get to add to their future. They do get to add in terms of Satu Sabali, who's going to be a game changer. She coming in being a superstar already, all star. She's going to work wonders. But I think that this team need to keep an eye on their future as well. Kalia Copper. I mean, they're in win now mode. But I would have liked to seen them at least have one draft pick. I mean, they had none. Obviously, they can go out and sign an undrafted player, if they need to. Um, but yeah, um, that's kind of how I see it now. It's tough for me to say this because obviously this team had a pretty good draft, in my opinion. But and this ain't good. This ain't gonna be good for a lot of people to hear. But I think the sky will losers in this draft. I think you could have got better talent. To see you could have got somebody that could have came in and contributed right away. When you look at Haley Van Lith, it remains to be seen who's going to be an upside. Is she going to be getting cooked? Defensively, how's it going to shake out for her? I don't know much about the Koulibaly pick, so why would you take her in the second round? I mean, some individuals might have watched Texas A&M. If anybody out there watched Texas A&M, what did you think about Asia Koulibaly? I don't watch Texas A&M play. Ain't enough time in the day to watch everybody play. So just like I got to watch tapes of my Las Vegas Aces, I'm a few Aces fan. But I must admit, I really admire the Sparks and the Storm. I really admire those two teams. They both trending upward. But as I look at it, who else did they pick? Maddie Westbill. It just don't it sometimes seem like Jeff just closed his eyes, like Jeff closed his eyes, right? Jeff P. just close his eyes and say, okay, I'm gonna pick somebody. Like, oh, bro, are you just picking random players? Like, Chicago should have took Cheyenne Sellers. Her hard working effort, grit and hustle type of play that Sellers provides is Chicago style approved. So for them to not take her is head scratching. For the Sky to not take a shooter like Tahina Pow that's lights out from range is a head scratcher. For the Chicago Sky to not at least briefly entertain the fact of Shania Fagan or Bree Hall with clutch shot making ability and defense, Shania Fagan, super, super solid, just in all aspects of the game. Floor stretching, passing the ball, rebounding. That's just like, am I lying, Michelle? It's like, hey, Jeff, here, put this blindfold on. All right, tie up the blindfold, make some selections. It's like he pulled the blindfold down for 1 second and seen Haley Van Lith and said, that seemed like possibly the only pick that he might have, said, outside of that, he just spewing random names. Sundell, yeah, like Sundell definitely, I don't know, for her to fall like that, and when she went to Seattle, I don't like the way Seattle played Nika Murrow. So I was like, man, I don't know if I like this. But hell, she been waiting on the draft board so long. I was just happy that she got picked. So I'm like, okay, Seattle it is. But I do not like the fact that they did not. I mean, Nika, that's like a great question. Like, how many minutes did she even play? Like, last season, because I feel like Nika Mill probably only played like maybe 26 minutes or something. Like she didn't even play a lot for them, which which is uh which is just absolutely crazy. Like I get it. Some players need to sit and learn, but how much sitting and learning on the bench do you need? So I'm gonna just try to quickly find out here if I can see. So wait a minute. So Nika Mill played 16 games last season. She didn't even average a point, y'all. She averaged 0.1 points a game. This is nasty work, and not in a bad way. 16 games, right? 3 minutes, y'all. 3.5 minutes a game in 16 games. Uh, damn. So she averaged 1 point. Y'all, she only scored 2 points. That's crazy. Like Michelle, Uncle J.E., Chat, whoever's here, her defense alone should have put her on the floor. That's crazy. Like she scored 2 points on 9-19. Uh, that's crazy. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, and Serena Sunthil is a versatile guard. Man, they gotta play her like. And when Nika get healthy, like we and Michelle talked about, I get it. Most teams want to win now. Your roster, this only a 13 team league now, so it's only going to be like one or two, three teams, maybe four, that really just bow out when they realize, oh man, we ain't got a chance. Kind of like the Mystics, they didn't have a chance last year. Every now and then, somebody gonna fight their way out of a rut, like the Fever. Um, I thought the Fever was gonna have one of the worst seasons, but as it went along, the season went along. They started to gel. Then they had the Olympic break. The Olympic break ain't gonna save nobody this season. Um, and I thought for sure the Fever was gonna get another top quality draft pick. But yeah, I guess the moral of the story is most teams are out to try to win, but nobody keeps an eye towards the future. And if they're gonna keep Nika, they definitely need to play her more than that, because that's just pathetic. Um, but then again, maybe she could take the Maddie Secrets approach, because I'm telling you guys, like Maddie's one of my favorites, and I just personally never stopped believing in her capabilities of what she could do. Now I understand that she was a top 3 pick. I understand that she came in um, as a legendary college player with Villanova. Really just put the program on her back. But she could have got dejected sitting behind Satu Sabali. 110%. She could have definitely got dejected. And she might even, feel like, okay, I got to do it again because Melissa Smith is in town. But one thing about Maddie Seegers is that she's just a fighter. And so, I think that, it's going to bode well for her. She might have to um, battle Melissa Smith for minutes, but Maddie Seegers is just a player that, she fights hard. She worked her way up the ladder, essentially. Um, Sitting behind Satu Sabali. So case in point right here. Olympic break really helped the Fever. Yeah, absolutely. Case in point right here. Now we know Maddie had broke her hand last season, so she missed some games. But Dallas, her first year, 2023, no starts, 39 games, only seeing 8 minutes, only averaging 3 points a game. Um, yeah, it was tough. It was tough. But 2024, just 1 year removed, 27 games, 14 starts, 24 minutes a game, almost 10 points a game. At one point, she was playing better than that before she broke her hand. 3 rebounds, so she's 2 rebounds better than the previous season, averaging an assist, and playing much better, just playing much better, more confident, just believing in herself when the opportunity came. So if she don't start, she's gonna be effective off the bench. Might be the sixth player of the year. I'm just saying, like, she's gonna work. She's gonna take whatever time she get. She's gonna work. She's gonna contribute. She's gonna be effective. And that's what you got to do. You got to make the most of whatever time they give you. You got to work hard in practice. You got to keep your head up. You got to learn from the bench. These are all things that Maddie did. And so, you just got to hold on to your opportunity coming. I think the biggest thing is staying in the league as a bench player. Stay in the league, get in the league, stay in the league, and just continue to work at it until your time comes. And hopefully that chance comes. But I think, you said Dallas drafted good. Yeah, Zia James, a really good pickup. Hopefully she makes the team. Paige did well. Got a little sidetracked talking about Maddie Seegers, but she's just one of my favorite players. So sometimes I do that. I get a little sidetracked. We're about to wrap it up here in a minute. We've been going. Dang, I didn't know we've been going for an hour and a half. I thought I just tried to keep this thing about an hour mark. Your time flies when you're talking about stuff you like. Definitely love WNBA, love college. So time flies. Golden State did a good job at drafting. Los Angeles did a good job. I give Los Angeles a lot of respect because they did a great job. Definitely, I would even throw them in as a winner. Not just a good job. I'd say they was a winner because Sanaya Fagan was awesome. Sarah Ashley Barker was an awesome pickup. I think the most unfortunate thing is a lot of these players just not going to make it. Last year, only 13 players made it out of 36. And that's horrible. It's got to get better, and it will get better. But this year, I'm hoping at least 20 players can make the roster. It's going to be tough because nobody wants to lose their job. Like, everybody's trying to fight for their job. So, may the best players win. Great draft. I guess in closing, we're talking about my aces, Harmony Turner and Aaliyah Nah. Really good selections. Definitely will probably be doing a video on one or both. The Indiana Fever. I do think it's a pathway. Somehow with Bree, call me crazy. I think it's a pathway where Bree Hall can stick on the Indiana Fever. It's going to be tough. Michaela Simpson is the favorite. Everybody says so. All the Indiana Fever pundits, all of those talking about the Fever. Now, obviously, here's how I deal with it. And I ain't trying to rub nobody the wrong way, but if I do, I do. This is how I deal with the Fever fans, and more so with the newer fans or the Fever content creators or the Caitlin Clark content creators who say they love all the basketball, but do they really? Do they really? They just want to talk about something else because Fever season is gone. Like, they're not fooling me. I hope Harmony makes it. If Deja Fair could make it last year, there has to be a path for Harmony. But they're not fooling me. Like, everybody that's a content creator, they want something to talk about. They would prefer to talk about Caitlin Clark all year long if they could. But since the Fever and they don't play, WNBA plays 44 games. But some people would love to talk about Clark for 82 games. Me personally, it's not about that with me. It's so many people out here talking about Caitlin that I just do it at my leisure. Like, I don't crowd follow. I don't crowd follow in real life. Yes, I'm a Clark fan. Yes, I'm a Hawkeyes fan, but a Bruins fan as well. Yeah, I'm a Fever fan, but also an Aces fan as well. But I think the most important thing is that if a player is great, I'm definitely going to gravitate towards them and discuss them and talk about them and enjoy watching them and root for them. All of those things, support them, just being a fan. And I think that it's disrespectful if people only want to talk about one person. Like, we can talk about Caitlin, but she doesn't have to be the only thing that we're talking about. Like, and I think for a lot of fans, And a lot of creators, they just all they see is Clark. They don't see nothing else. That's all they see, And they talk about other players because the Fever season ain't forever. The Hawkeye season ain't forever. So it's like you can kind of get that vibe, that feeling, like, oh, this person talking about let's say Juju Watkins, but they don't seem as invested talking about Juju Watkins as they do with Caitlin Clark. If you want to be a fan, he a fan, he a fan, he a fan. If you just want to be a fan, just make it known. Like, and for me, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. When I first came to YouTube, I was like, man, one of the biggest reasons for me to make the channel to begin with is because, like, I want a place to talk about Clark, Iowa. But as I start going further along in the YouTube journey, I'm like, you know what? It's all great, it's all dandy, but it's a million people out there just mindlessly praising Caitlin Clark. That's all they doing. That's what it's all about. And I just want to be more objective. I just, like you say, more unbiased. I want to show love to many different players. I want to be able to talk about. I guess that's why I might have taken Iowa out of my title in UCLA. Like, y'all know who I'm a fan of already. But it's like I want to show love to the high school players. Jazzy. What's his name? I almost said DJ Jazzy Jeff. Jazzy Davidson. I want to talk about Toby Fournier for Duke. I want to be able to talk about everything, y'all. I want to be able to talk about what's the girl name? Aaliyah Edwards. Just everybody. I don't want to just talk about just one person only, or only discuss that team that she played on. Like, if we balling, if we playing, yeah, of course. I might want to talk about them, but there's just too many great players to just talk about only Caitlin Clark. If Caitlin Clark if she was to have a game where she had 28, 12 and 12, 12 boards, 12 assists, 28, the world would go crazy. Everybody would, Caitlin Clark, and I probably would too. But if Paige Beckers had the same game, if she just went and dropped 28, 12 and 12, I want to talk about that too. I want to highlight that too. I want to talk about her special performance. If let's say Serena Sundale, let's say she came in, she scored 16, 7 boards, 8 assists in her. Let's say she did it in her first game, which is probably unlikely, seeing as though rookies don't get a lot of playing time. But let's say she did. Let's say she did it in preseason. I want to talk about it. It's not just one player, and I just think that's the key, being well-rounded in your approach. Because anybody, again, if like, I think people mistitle their channel sometimes. Like, if you just a Caitlin fan, then that's what you are, and that's kind of what you should be. But I just think there's too many good players out here to just talk about one. One of the biggest things for me. Y'all know it was tough when I lost to LSU. I didn't like it, but I can tell you this. As time would go on, I realized it's simply just a game. We had a chance to win the championship, but it's simply just a game. We just didn't. It's one and you done. We didn't play great. They played better, and yeah, I did feel some kind of way about it. It was a bit of Billy, but then I realized you move on, you move ahead, you move to the next season. You don't hold it against a player. You don't try to beat them upside the head and make fun of them. If you root for one, you should definitely root for all. And I guess in closing, I think the real reason why I could probably say is in terms of, like, okay, me being also an Oklahoma fan because Aaliyah Chavez is coming there, is because I'm a big Chavez fan. But when I was like, okay, Aaliyah Chavez, I couldn't root for her. She went to SC. I consider SC to be the standard. Like, And not being an ASC fan don't mean I don't have no respect for them. There's tons of respect for Don Staley, um, the way the program is run. I was the first to salute them when they defeated Iowa, and I just see them as the competition. Like, okay, UConn beat South Carolina definitively for the title, but South Carolina is going to be right back in the mix next year. And I never took any pleasure in seeing the team lose. Never, never never took no pleasure in that, none whatsoever. So I'm just I'm just a fan of the game at the end of the day, and that's what it is. A fan of the game at the end of the day, going to support the sport no matter what, and just happy, great to see these ladies get drafted. It was an awesome time yesterday. So I want to salute everybody that came through. Salute to y'all, Michelle. Even the trolls that popped up in here. Salute to them just for coming through, giving me some traction. As we push to 1,000 here on the channel. Let's see. Salute to Gotti, Uncle J.E., Michelle. Thank y'all for coming through. Um, you know, chit chatting, showing love to the channel. I appreciate that for listening to me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, another awesome video in the books. Say I should probably go live more. Don't go live quite enough. But I will say this. WNBA season is fast approaching. Training camp is fast approaching. Looking forward to it all. Um, I don't know what video I'm gonna put out next, but I'm probably gonna talk about these aces. I'm probably gonna talk about these fever picks. Oh yeah. There's some I got to talk about with the Nike Team Summit game. Some of the players, Sienna, but yeah, the portal is still portaling. But with that, y'all, we out of here. Peace. Salute. Salute. Salute.